Hi everyone. So I want to start off this video by acknowledging the following people for going against the grain and carrying out independent research to share with the world. Without them, I would have never found out about what I am going to share with you in this video. In my opinion, this subject is not only fascinating but important for everybody to really understand where we as a species really came from. So for me, it all started with Graham Hancock and his book Fingerprints of the Gods, making me question what I was taught at school and about our ancient history. I also want to give my personal thanks to the following people: Robert Bauval, Robert Schoch, Randall Carlson, John Anthony West, Brien Forester, Praveen Mohan, Ben from Uncharted X, Jimmy from Bright Insight, and many more. If it wasn't for them risking being publicly ridiculed by mainstream academics, I, along with most people, wouldn't know much about this subject of a lost, advanced, and ancient global civilization. I am going to be focusing on the evidence and proof we have from many different people's fields of research over many years to suggest there once was a global civilization with advanced knowledge. Let's take a closer look at the Great Sphinx on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. The mainstream view on the dating of the Sphinx, if you search on Google, is around 2500 BC. But an argument put forward by Bauval and Hancock to support the Orion correlation theory is that they believe the Great Sphinx is aligned with the constellation of Leo around 10,500 BC, and that the Sphinx lion shape is a definitive reference to the constellation of Leo. That means there could have been a civilization 8,000 years before we expected in Egypt. Now this makes a lot of sense when you really look at the Sphinx. Not only the size of the head to the body, which is way too small, strongly suggests it was recarved in the later Egyptian dynasties. Additionally, evidence for the great age of the Sphinx may be indicated by the astronomical significance of its shape being that of a lion, relating to the precession of the equinoxes. Looking due east at dawn on the vernal equinox in 10,450 BC, the Sphinx and the constellation of Leo would align in the sky. Also, if we go back 12,000 years, the three pyramids of Giza line up perfectly with Orion's belt, while the Sphinx lines up with the constellation of Leo and the Nile River with the Milky Way, just like what Graham Hancock had been debating for years along with others. Not only that, but the Sphinx's water erosion hypothesis, that is considered a fringe claim by mainstream viewpoint, contending that the Great Sphinx of Giza and its enclosing walls eroded primarily due to ancient floods or rainfalls. This wet period is referred to as the Neolithic wet phase and dates back to around 7,000 to 10,000 years ago conservatively. The geological findings by Robert Schoch and others indicate that the Sphinx seems to have been sculptured sometime before 10,000 BC, and this period coincides with the age of Leo the lion, which lasted from 10,970 to 8,810 BC. Now these dates, although not exactly, but seem to coincide with many other events and ancient creations globally. It also seems to relate to the Younger Dryas, which I first heard about from Randall Carlson. The Younger Dryas refers to a period from approximately 12,800 to 11,600 years ago, when Earth returned to glacial conditions. Today, there is no question whether a comet hit Earth 12,800 years ago. The Comet Research Group, a consortium of 60 plus scientists from 16 countries, has put together an undeniable case for the Younger Dryas comet hypothesis. As you can see by some of the pictures, there is clear evidence of massive flood waters created by an impact 12,800 years ago, and I am convinced that this has everything to do with a lost ancient global civilization. Go and check out Jimmy from Bright Insight's latest videos, he covers this in great detail. So could this be why we find ancient sites all over the world that seem to have just stopped or been reset to a primitive time, with the greater, older structures and marvels created before and we inherited them? Just like you can see proof of this in Peru, where the older megalithic structures are below the newer, cruder work on top? Could this be a reason why we have lost this ancient technology? There is so much to cover, I could go into much more detail. Let me know if you want a follow-up video on this subject, and most importantly, what do you think? As always, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video and my channel, and please leave your comments below. And if you haven't already, check out these videos. Thanks, and until next time, QEC.